Hello. Okay, so today we are going to make a spinner card. And I'm so excited to do this because I'm using the January stamp of the month for 2020. It's Radiant Positivity. Be excited for all good things to come. You're all kinds of amazing, kind heart, brave spirit, be your own kind of beautiful. So what I've done is I've done some stamp surgery on some of my stamps. So be your own kind of beautiful. I've kind of cut that up. And I've cut each one of these words out separately. So instead of it being one big one, it is now 4 separate words. And then this is 3 lines, if you will. So I am using today the spinner die cut. And so what that does is it has a plate that cuts this piece out, the spinner portion, and then 2 wheels. So I'm going to need all of these pieces, and I'm also going to need a base piece to put that on. I'm going to need some 3D foam tape. So I am going to get out the inserts for some of my foam circles and some of my foam tape that I keep in a little box over here. I'm also going to come in with the Spruced Up Card Making Workshop stamp set, and I am going to use that to decorate the front of my card. So that's what we're going to do first, is we're going to decorate the card first, and then carry on with the rest of the assembly of the card. So my idea is to put something together so that the top of the card says, be your own kind of, and then the rest of it will be filled with these sentiments here. Now, for this spinner, we're going to have to do a little creative workaround with it because it's meant for up to 6 sentiments to be stamped on here. So some of them tend to be called for a little small, and it's extremely difficult to see in person, let alone on camera, but they have some notches in here for guides so that you can kind of know where to place your stamp. So we'll kind of go over that in a little bit when we get to that point. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this piece right here with my flower and my vase. So I'm going to stamp my flowers in. Get that on there nice and good. I've been using it a lot and it could use a little scrub, but I am going to stamp this in intense black. And the reason why I'm going to do it in intense black is because I'm going to color it. I'm going to do, not really like a watercolor, but kind of, I'm going to bring in the inks for all the colors that I'm using today and add some color that way. You could also do alcohol markers. You could leave it black and white. It's whatever. So tap, tap, twist, twist, tap, tap with my intense ink, black ink. And this looks about good. And I'm going to go straight down and straight up. I got one shot at this. We'll work with it. Then I want to do my base. And so I'm only going to stamp, I'm only going to stamp partial on my base. I'm not going to stamp the whole thing because I want it to be hidden and I don't really want to mask it. So I'm just going to kind of come in, add some ink, and because I can see through it, right, I know where to put everything. So perfect. I kind of like the half stamped image anyways, right? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so give a little scrub on these, set them off to the side. I don't need them right now. Now here comes the really fun part, is kind of making the rest of this work. So I want to add some color to my card. Obviously, I'm going to color my flowers in later. But these are the 3 colors that I'm going to use together: Lagoon, Willow, and Bluebird. So Bluebird's my base. And I've chosen these because I got them out of our Love of Heart love of color from close to my heart. And so what it does is you pick a base color, whichever one you want, like Bluebird, for example, and then it tells you some 2 or 3 or sometimes even 5 complementary colors that go with Bluebird. I can't really show you the inside of it for copyright issues, but I think you get the basic understanding of how that works. So I'm going to come in with my Lagoon here, and I'm going to do Be Your Own Kind Of in Lagoon at the top, and then I'm going to alternate the other 2 colors on the other sentiments. So I'm going to put this down here. There's a little line on the blocks. Sorry, mine's a little smudgy right now. There's a little line on the blocks, and that's really great for lining up your words so that they're straight. And then I can put this down. I think that kind of looks good, but I think it could definitely come over so it all fits on the black. Snarkies. I hate it. It's like not straight. All right, so then I want this piece to go up here. I'm going to do my best to kind of center it. So tap, tap, twist, twist, tap, tap. And then I'm just making sure I get all of that ink in there. Be your own. I didn't really mean to wreck it. Be your own kind of. Now the window is really, really small that comes on this for the stamp set that I'm working with. Typically, whatever I would be working with would fit very nicely in there. But I'm trying to make something that wasn't designed to be a spinner card be a spinner card. So I'm just going to kind of clean this off really quick. Put these back, I'll put this back on the carrier sheet. So don't lose it, because I am that person that loses everything. I've already lost 2 pairs of scissors. I was just using them. I have no idea where they are. So here we are. Okay, so this first one is, so here's the front of our card. Other than coloring it in with the ink pad, like I said, I'm done stamping on the front of this. So I'm going to come in with a little paintbrush. I have a water brush, and I'm doing the video right now, so of course it's not next to me. But it's really easy to do. You just kind of squeeze the front of this, get some ink on your palette here. Let's see. And then you can just use a brush, obviously, to paint a little bit of color onto your there. There we go. I had to find some actual paintbrush. I'm so used to using my water brush that I couldn't find any paint. So then we do that now. And then I can just come in and just color this in like so. Now the ink that I used was the Intense ink, and that's important to know because then you don't have to worry about it bleeding or going off all kinds of crazy places. And I have no water. I know that you can see that, and that's okay. I'm just kind of adding a little bit of color in, and then I'm going to come back in with a little bit of water on here, and it's going to look really cool and really filled in. So you can see how easy this is to add a little bit of color really quickly, and you don't have to color everything. You can leave some of these white. You don't have to color them all in. You could just do the bottom. You could grab your alcohol markers and not do this at all. And just leave it up to your alcohol markers to do this. Anyways, I just think this is a really fun way of blending and another way to kind of add color in. And it kind of goes along with the whole sentiment of everything. Be your own kind of what? Be your own kind of beauty. Kind, heart, brave, spirit, soul. The whole kit and caboodle. All right, let's see if I can get a little bit of dissolvent in here. Clean my brush off. And then see what I can do with some of this beautiful bluebird. Hopefully it'll be beautiful. Nope, I don't like it. I need water. All right, we'll try this again. Much better. Worked really good for the green. Okay. Much better. That water makes a huge difference. It worked out really well for the leaves, but you know what? And then we'll just keep going until all of our flowers are colored in. I'm not really following the lines because all of these beautiful flowers blend in together. And then I'm going to come in with the lagoon and color the other couple of flowers that are left. So I'm so used to the magnetic ones. And then this will tie in all of the colors when the wheel goes around. And we just got this guy just kind of floating off down there. So very nice. Add a little bit of this to the center right here. And a little bit of depth on these lines over here. There. When that dries out, it's going to be really, really, really pretty. Okay, so we're all done with the coloring that I wasn't going to do on camera, but here we are. I guess I just figured after it was going through, I didn't want to. And so we didn't get a very good stamp when we first stamped through, so some of those are blurred, but as that dries, that's going to turn out really nice. So now I'm going to set this aside to dry, and then we're going to work on our wheel. And like I said, that has 6 little notches on it that you use a ruler or something straight and a pencil and very lightly go over it to have a guideline for where your sentiments or your words should be. And then it's stitched. I think I can get this part on camera. Okay, so right here you can see where it's stitched. So you don't want to stamp above that because one, this is your wheel that, you know, people are going to see on the side. So this part is going to pop out right here. So you have that. And then you have your stitch that's down here, right here, and it goes all the way around, and you want to stamp down here because then it won't be visible in the window. So you just have this area right here and here, and then I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you can kind of see it, the little notch here. So there's 6 of those, and so you just follow that and draw it to the circle and out. I only need 4, so I'm just going to divide it evenly, and I just need to get, I'm going to use just a scrap piece of paper, and my head's going to kind of probably pop in on camera, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm just going to find these notches, and I'm going to go straight across. Where else is a good one to go? Okay, so I only need 4, so I know that I have between this area and this area to stamp. And so that's very helpful for a guide. And then I always use a white eraser when I'm writing on my cards and I need to erase, so that I don't have to worry about the lines showing up, and then the white eraser, if residue comes off, it's white, so I don't have to worry about messing that up. And seriously, let's clean that up really quick, just because I am a messy person, and I will seriously, without a doubt, put my hand in it like I've already done, and then it will be on the card, and then I'm going to be like, how did that happen? Just clean that off. Get the dryness, dry it up. Okay, so I'm going to use that Bluebird ink, and then I'm going to use the Willow. So I'm going to come in with Bluebird and Willow. So the first one I have is Heart. So be your own kind of heart, which I think is really a good thing to say or put on here, because I'm just kind of lining it up and seeing how I need to curve it, because I'm gonna have to curve it just slightly, and that's kind of like the beauty of having these little, okay, losing my train of thought. Apparently I cannot tutorial and card make and do a video all at the same time. Okay, so just a little bit of curve. Anyways, I like that you can manipulate them, is what I'm trying to say. Perfect. It's not 100% perfect, but it will, I think, be sufficient. So I'm gonna just get this up. And then I'm sorry if this isn't exactly on camera, but I'm gonna do my best. So we got a little bit above that line, so you might be able to see it when you're turning the card about, but that's okay. And I got the comma in there, which I didn't want, but it's all good. I think it'll turn out just fine. Okay, so there's that one. Let's see, your next one is going to be Brave. Be your own kind of brave. So we're going to kind of try and curve that one just a little bit, just so it kind of follows through. And we're going to do this one in Willow. Ooh, I like that. That came through nice. Clean that off. The next one is Be Your Own Kind of Kind, which is nice. It's kind of wordy, but I like it. I really like how that comes through, because kindness comes in many different forms. Straight down, straight up. It looks great. And for the last one is Spirit. Be your own kind of spirit. And then I'm going to definitely need to curve this one just because it is a little long. And so this will help me keep it in that mark. And this one is Willow. All right, let's see. There we go. Lovely. I'm really glad this is going to come together. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that it doesn't not come through. Okay, so it's just drying up really nicely, and if I really wanted to, I can come in with my black journaling pen, which is waterproof, and I can come in right on top of this. And you see I have a little smudge right there. That is nothing that a little rhinestone won't cover up, right? So let's check this out. Spirit, heart. I think it's going to work out just fine. Okay, so we're going to come in with our 2 wheels. And you're going to need some brads. So if you don't have an arsenal of these saved up from over the years when brads were a really hot thing, I do have some available on my website. You're more than welcome to pop over there and grab some of these.
Hi, Mom.
Hi. I have little kiddos, and one of them is just going to pop in and say hi really quick before I try to shoo her off. So let me take care of her and I'll be right back. Okay, So what we're going to do is we're going to put our brad in just like this. The hole is already pre-punched. So this is what your die set looks like. Mine's already put away, so I would get it out. So you'll cut 2 discs, 1 wheel, 1 card front. And the really nice thing about this is it gives you really good instructions. So here's our wheel. We've already got that done. Here's all this. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to unplug that, and we're going to put this in here like this, and then we're going to put this through like this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put 3D foam tape here and 3D foam tape there. So I am just going to use some of, I don't have any left in there. I'm just going to use the insides of my circles that create shaker cards to put on here. And let's see, it's going to go here, here, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so all we have to do is line this up. Oh, before we do that, let's back up just really quick and erase these lines that we have here, right? And I try to, when I'm doing this, I try to write as light as possible so I don't have to really worry about that a whole lot. Okay. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this, oops, and I'm going to line it up so that, there we go. I'm going to line it up so that my stitches, if you will, line up here and here and here. So it turns nicely. Now we want to add this 3D foam to the back of here so that when you put it on your card base, it doesn't go wonky on you. So do here and here. And I think we can get a little small one, like a little triangle one up here, right over here. All right. So we'll put that down. And then what I like to do is put some extra 3D foam tape in my corners like this. And that prevents what I have found from the front of my card turning the opposite direction in which my shaker, or not my shaker, my spinner is going. I think that should be okay. We put one here. I just don't want it to interfere with the spinner, and then one here. And then we'll take all of these off. Oops. Very nice. And those lines, those stitch lines that they have on there really helps to give you a nice guideline. So be your own kind of brave heart spirit. I love that. That's so cool. Okay, so I'm going to come back with my card base right here, which is that bluebird. And as best as possible, I'm going to center this down. Kind of bring this up a little bit because I just made a classic mistake. So I'm going to try and very carefully see if I can pull this up. I did push this down really well without bending this, and I have another piece of the bluebird cut if it goes too far, too wrinkly. Okay, so the classic mistake that I just made is I have 2 layers of 3D foam tape. So if you caught that, you're better than me. So I need to put 2 layers because there's a layer here and a layer here. And so I can't, I'm like, wait, why is this dipping down? It shouldn't dip down like that. Oop, and that cut in, so I just want to cut that off. So 2 layers. And this is a great way to use up, you know, these spare little squares that come inside the shaker kits. There, now I can put this down. I'm going to use a different sheet. I'm not really a big fan of bent paper, and I can use that for banners or something else, or flatten it out, if you will. Nope, no big deal. We'll get it all on here, and then we'll put it on our card base. Now let's kind of see what we got going on here. There, much better. Now it's not dipping down or what have you. Okay, so I'm going to come in with these Julep gems that I showed you earlier to hide my watermark. Oops, upside down. These are self-adhesive, and they're sticking to my adhesive on my fingers. And I'll put 3 over here. Oop, not that one. On the side. So there is my shaker card. All I have to do is add it to my card base, or not shaker. I keep calling it a shaker. I'm so sorry. My spinner card. So be your own kind of kind, be your own kind of brave, your own kind of heart, and your own kind of spirit. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got a lot of fun and kicks and laughters watching me fumble through this really cool and fun card. Okay, have a great night.